Hi, everyone. This is Kirsten Hall with Pointe Publishing, and we haven't done one of these in a long darn tootin' time. We're doing an introduction interview with Cowden Dahl. She is one of our newest authors, probably the newest author, and she has a book coming out somewhere in 2024. We're going to have her tell you all about it, but first, Karen, do you want to say hi to everyone in YouTube world?
Hi, I'm Cowden Dahl. I am a cancer researcher and a wife and a mother of three. I have a couple of teenagers and a little one at home. I live in Western Wisconsin, where I do my work, and I guess I'm an aspiring writer to bridge the gap between science and I was gonna say nonfiction.
Okay. All right. First thing, when did you first start writing?
I have been writing since I could pick up a pencil. When I was a little girl, as soon as I knew the alphabet, what I would do for fun I would staple little pieces of paper together and write whatever words I knew. I would write mommy, yes, no, love me. And I just would always do that as a little kid, just staple little pieces of paper together and make my own little books. And
I think all of us authors have our little stapled or yarn tied or scotch taped books. All right. Well, why do you think? Well, actually, before I say why do you think people should read your book, why don't you kind of give us an overview about what your book's about, because it's very unique.
Yeah. So my mother was my inspiration for my book. My mother was a nurse and a cancer patient. She was diagnosed with cancer in 1981 and died in 1985. And being a nurse, she felt it gave her a unique window to being a patient and as well as dealing with the disease. And she started writing her own autobiography in the early 1980s. And she unfortunately died before she was able to see that project to fruition. So it's been a lifelong goal of mine to complete her book and share her story. She thought that she would have something to share with the world, and as I think it was cathartic for her, as well as wanting to help others through the process. So what I've done is I've made my own little genre of autobiography / biography, where I've taken her words on her experiences, and I've kind of wrapped them with a hug of my experiences, where I've taken her story and tried to make it authentic as possible. I have her handwritten and typed notes from 1981, and I've bookended that with what happened before her story and what has happened since, and then tried to bring my own perspective as a cancer researcher. I've been doing cancer research for the past nearly 25 years, and I wanted to not only, it's a sad story and it's a story of loss, but I wanted to turn it into a story of hope. And so I want to show what cancer research has done in the last 40 years, and because it really is a success story for many people out there.
Oh, yeah. And I like how you described it as a hug around her story with your words. That's nice. Remember that. We're going to use that in the future. Write it down. All right. Why do you think people should read your book? I mean, you kind of touched on that, but if you want to expand on it.
I mean, I think we've all of us have been affected by cancer, and all of us have been affected by illness. And we've all had loss. And I think, seeing that, so my story it's through the eyes of a child, because I'm telling you what happened when I was 2 years old and 7 years old, and then seeing how that brought me to where I am today. So I think it's, a way of sharing grief, sharing hope, sharing, like I said, my biggest thing in my portion of the book is that I'm a cancer researcher. I'm an expert in cancer. I can tell you what really has gone on, because it is actually really incredible what the difference in cancer treatment and research 40 years ago and today. We know so much more than we did. And cancer isn't the death sentence that it once was. It's a lot of times it's a disease that we can treat like diabetes or asthma. That's not always the case. But like I said, I'm trying to bring hope for, people that sometimes are lost, whether it's a patient or a family member, and just bring a little connection to the world.
Yeah. No, yeah, back in the 60s, 70s, I mean, really even the early 80s, it was just, oh no. Now it's, and it helps that people do more to prevent it or get the earlier screenings or whatever. I mean, I've had, I have my biological dad and my stepdad, both of whom died of cancer. And being in the field that I'm also in, besides books and such, as an insurance agent, I have dealt with a lot of cancer claims and such. So yeah, can't get out of that. But it's good that you're doing what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to reading this book. Okay, other authors you admire, especially contemporary, and does anyone stand out in particular?
Well, non-contemporary, I like Shakespeare.
Okay.
I just think it's fun seeing men dressed up as women, dressing up as men, and gender bending and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Or contemporary, I like things that are just off the wall, crazy creative. Like many years ago, I picked up a Tom Robbins book, and because I read the back cover, and I was like, I don't understand a word that's on this back cover.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I've read several of his books just because they're so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've also read things like The Sinner and The Silent Patient. They're very Poe-esque, what I was thinking another one somewhere along the line. Oh, where the crawdads sing, things that are kind of Poe-esque and where that you can't trust the narrator.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if that, they're a little bit on the thriller side. You can't trust the narrator, whether they're telling the truth or not.
Mm-hmm.
And
The fun with fiction, we can.
yeah.
Yeah, I have fun with it too.
And then I think, what was her name? I'm trying. I've lost the name is sticking out of my head. There's a book called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the Rebecca Skloot.
Okay.
So that one reminds me in the same genre-esque that my book is. It is a nonfiction book, and it's a biography and an autobiography in one. It's about the field of cancer research, and it really brings together the author is talking about her discovering this story of this woman named Henrietta Lacks, who in cancer research, we use cells from patients to study diseases and find cures. And this is the first time it was successful, is that these cells were taken from a woman without her permission.
Oh.
And these are the first cells ever used, and they've led to all kinds of cures, but they were taken without permission. So there was, a breach of this is before HIPAA. So this is a breach of confidentiality. This is a breach of privacy. She was racism. She was a Black lady, so none of this was done with her consent. So it's the story of how the author learned the story of this woman and was able to share it with the world, but also the story of this woman's life and how it led to cancer, and how kind of the betrayal of her privacy and her family. Yeah. And so that's another just a real life interesting story.
Okay.
Lots of different things, a lot of biographies lately.
Well, it's cool to hear that you like Tom Robbins. He's one of my favorites, and the books are they're out there.
Yeah, I just picked up at a Costco Still Life with Woodpecker.
Uh-huh.
And I'm reading the back cover, and it's like something about a cigarette pack in the pocket of a shirt and an exiled king. And I'm like, none of this sounds like English. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
I would love to one of these days write random goofy stories like that. Just, that's how my mind works. So, I would like to put that down on paper.
I loved it because it was just so so random. And then at some point he just starts talking to his typewriter. And then like I think one of the last chapters, it's just handwritten. It's not even typed. And I
Mhm.
mean, obviously it's a metaphor and everything, but I just thought this is the most creative thing I've read.
Yep. You might also want to check out Jacob Appel, Appel. He writes short stories, and so you can bang out one a day or whatever. They're fun. I'll send you more information on it,
Sure.
but
Yeah, sounds great.
they're fun stories. All right. What is the next one? Oh, is there anything about your style or genre that you find particularly challenging?
So I think there's kind of three things. So like I said, the first is that I want to be authentic to my mother's story and words.
Mhm.
And that's a little bit of a challenge because she had a brain tumor, and I don't know how much of what she said is authentic. Like, well, it's authentic, but how much of what she said is based in reality and not based on the drugs she was on,
Yeah.
the medications she was on, the tumor messing with her ability to judge reality,
Right.
all of that, and the trauma. And I think the trauma alters our sense of reality as well. So I want to be authentic to her and her story. I want to, tell my story, but as that creative little person in my head, I want it to be interesting, and I want it. I don't, I don't want to write something, I don't want to read something boring where it's not interesting. It has to grab me, it has
Yeah.
to grab your soul and make you want to keep reading. And so I want to tell our stories, but I want to do it in a really fun way. And so
Mhm.
how do I stay true to the stories, but also, really engage with the reader? And like I said, it's not, her words are, not necessarily the same style as mine, but I'm trying to like make it cohesive.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to mesh together.
Striving for.
Yeah,
All right. Do you remember the first book that you read?
absolutely. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, old fish, new fish. This one has a little star. This one has a little car. Only because that was my favorite book, and I thought I was reading it for many,
Mhm.
and 4 years old, I would recite the whole thing, and I'd be like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
reading. And
Mhm.
and of course, my family, because they just are mean, would be like, no, you're not. And they'd hand me like a newspaper and be like, read this.
That's nice.
To prove to me that I couldn't read. So
Had not
that's
mastered it yet. Well, I bet anything that on your little homemade books, you probably had fish and star and red and blue and car.
yeah, probably.
Probably. Okay, those are the questions that you have already picked, but now I'm gonna
Mhm.
throw some new ones on you.
Sure.
Okay. Um, when you were writing your part around your mom's story,
Mhm.
or in general, are you a pantser or a plotter? Do you write by the seat of your pants, or do you make outlines and fill in, or is it a combination?
Um, I definitely did not use an outline. I think I just went with um, this is what happened. I
Yeah,
just, from my memory, like, so I wrote a forward, and that I kind of um, I guess, like, said a pantser, just kind of
yeah, yeah.
just started writing. And then the epilogue. I mean, since it's somewhat timeline, I
Mhm.
started, at a specific timeline and just started from the, kind of a chronological, um, in that way. And then, so I kind of more concept, like this part of, the last chapter is what happened after she stopped writing. And then the epilogue is kind of like, um, wrapping everything up. So
Yeah.
more concept than outline.
Okay. Do you need to be in a certain mood or mode or in a certain room or all cozied up under blankets and coffee to write, or are you at a desk and writing? What's your happy place to start writing?
Um, Probably in bed or on the couch. I think this has it's taken me probably 10 years to get this far. I
Oh,
think I first read most, the hand or the actual part that was typed up when I was probably 21.
Okay.
And I didn't touch it for, many years. My dad gave me the manuscript, the writings, and said it was mine and I can, have it.
Yeah.
And he's never read it. He's like, I have my own memories. I don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
can imagine.
and so I think I started, like her part, I just started just sitting down and typing it up and just thinking about it and processing it. And then after I did that, I don't know, I just curl up under a blanket and type away.
Yeah, yep. Okay, and last question, if you were to have a dinner party, um, either alive or not alive people anymore, who would you invite? Like, 2 or 3 people to have a good, stimulating, interesting conversation
Oh, wow.
and making you think now.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I might throw in someone like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg or uh, my daughter's favorite Supreme Court justice is Sonia Sotomayor,
Mhm.
the first Hispanic justice. I like the idea of fighting for inequality and women's rights, and so I could definitely have someone like that to have some really interesting conversations with. Um, hmm. Well, I think there have to be somebody funny there too. I don't know. Robin Williams, maybe.
Yeah.
I need someone there to make me laugh.
Mhm.
Um, and hmm, maybe somebody musical. Maybe a Beatle, or
Mhm.
just get the Beatles there to play some music while we're all laughing and
And
doing
talking
something for
law.
the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as you're talking different laws and you're laughing on the side and there's music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right. Oh, I have one other question. I totally lied. Okay, I have one other question.
Sure.
Beyond this book, do you have more books in your mind to write? What's on your author horizon?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to write. I've taken, even before I had kids, I was writing, like I want to write children's books. I took a children's book writing course and I dropped out. I didn't
Oh
like it.
no.
The teacher was, like I said, I liked crazy things that make no sense. And the
Mhm.
teacher was very formula, like children, this is the formula for how to write a children's book. I'm like, why is there a formula? Why can't I just write whatever I want?
Yeah.
Anyways, I I um I definitely have thought about writing children's books for, my kids, or now they're getting old. Um, I have this idea in my mind to because I think about my mom and what I've missed, like to write a series where someone gets one day left with someone that, like kind of you said, like a person, like maybe someone that's passed, someone that's they've
Yeah.
wanted, like if I could have one day with my mom, what would that day be? And
Okay.
have like a series like that with different characters
Mhm.
going back and spending one day with
Yeah.
someone they missed and sharing that world.
Oh, that'd be awesome. All right. Anything else you would like to say to everyone out in the internet world?
Um, Not, I'm just grateful for this opportunity, and I'm hoping that I bring a little bit of hope and inspiration and into people's Kindles or people's laps.
Mhm. Well, we will certainly do our best to get that out there. Like I said, I don't know what the production crew has given you for timelines, but I'm going to assume probably 2024. And yeah, so if you would like to learn more about Karen or Fox Point Publishing, you can find us at FOXPOINTE publishing.com. The E is only there because we're fancy. There is no other reason except that we're fancy. And then click onto professionals in the navigation and then scroll down. Matter of fact, I think you're like in the first line, like the third or fourth person. It's alphabetized to last names. So with C, there she is. And yeah, I think you're the third person. might be the 4th. Well, who knows? Okay. And actually, I'll have the links in the comment section or the information section below. Also, if you would be so kind as to subscribe to the channel. I've got more fun things to put on there going into this next year and stuff. I'm really trying to ramp up the number of videos that I'll be putting out there. And actually, I've got some book flip throughs coming in soon here. I've got like 11 or 12 books I am behind. Anywho, so yeah, foxpointpublishing.com. We put out 2 or 3 new titles per month, really between the months of like February, March into October. We can ship anywhere. We do wholesale, we do retail, all the information's below. And then definitely keep an eye out for Karen's book, and actually probably about starting next fall, you'll see more about her. All of our social media links are on the website as well. And do you have your social media set up yet? What's your handle?
It's mostly so Facebook, it's Karen D. Cowden Dahl.
Okay.
I believe Instagram is KCOWDEN DAHL, K Cowden Dahl. And I believe
Instagram is like Chica, or what is it?
Oh, I think I must have sent the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a, well, I hadn't been good about using either one of them. But yes, I have a K Cowden Dahl.
Is there a Chica one?
Yes.
Casey Chica or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
There's not much, but I think I think my professionally one is KD.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
K Cowden Dahl.
All right. And actually on her webpage, if you hop onto her webpage, all of the links that I have for her will be on there as well. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to get off this platform and we're going to go over to a surprise Instagram live. I am putting her on the spot. By the way, I am the instigator of all things fun at Fox Point. I'm just telling that to Karen right now. So foxpointpublishing.com, FOXPOINTE publishing.com. That website has everything plus the kitchen sink and a whole lot more. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a fabulous day in your neighborhood. Bye.